Hello everybody, in this video we're going to test out different graphic settings playing Wild Rift. This is recorded natively in 60 FPS. Alright, so if you go to the settings, this icon at the top, we're going to go to graphics. There are different graphic settings. I'm just going to go quickly over what each one does. You can see shadow quality. The effect shadow quality, the higher the setting, the more detailed shadows become, may impact performance. Model quality, adjust 3D model quality. Default settings is based on device performance. Restriction will apply when using device with lower performance. I'm using this one, by the way, testing it on the OnePlus 6 Android smartphone. 60 FPS. The mode will increase gameplay frame rate, which may increase battery drain and cause low-end devices to overheat. For some devices, after enabling this, some graphics options will be disabled for performance balancing. Post-processing. When enabled, post-processing effects will be applied on 3D models. Restriction will apply when using lower performance devices. Interface animations, we don't care about this. And brightness, no. Texture quality, the higher the texture quality, the more detailed the champions and map will appear. Effects quality, the effects visual effect quality, the higher the settings, the more details special effects become, but it may impact performance. Resolution, the higher the resolution, the sharper the game will look, but it may impact performance. Floating text, we don't care about this. So what we're going to do, first we're going to set it up for the highest quality. So we're going with shadow quality high. So, we need to say confirm. High here, resolution high, 60 FPS on. We get a confirmation, we say confirm. Post-processing on. And now I'm going to turn it off. And the other ones we don't care. So we're going to go back and we're just going to go practice. I'm not going to start a game for this. I'm going to go for practice. And just choose a champion. Now it already feels that it's super clean. Already here you're going to see it. It's just crazy. Everything is so smooth. And I was playing with 30 FPS and I changed to 60 FPS. It just feels like an event animation. This glowing animation is just not even close in 30 FPS. It's crazy. They're like, it was designed for 60 FPS, the type of animations. So you can see that it's very, very smooth as expected. And this is actually the best way to play it. I play in 30 FPS and I didn't realize, like, it felt like slow motion in comparison. And I think it can even affect the gameplay, of course. Can you react fast, you can see things fast. I don't know, it just feels so like the way it should play. And when I changed to 30 FPS, just felt kind of a slow, and I told myself, what? How can I actually play this? And you're going to see it in a few moments. Everything is super smooth. Yeah. So we go back and we're going to change to everything here, the movement of the screen, everything is smooth, the animations, smooth. Except this one, which always lag even in the lowest settings. It's kind of funny. Alright, now we're going to do is go to the setting again, and we're going to stay with everything. We just reduce this one to 30 FPS. You don't need confirmation for this, just go and go practice again. Even now, you're going to see that it starts looking very kind of a... See the animation, or so you're going to see the animation? Just kind of a... Everything kind of slow. Look at the animations. Not even close compared to what it was in 60 FPS. It was like, oh, now this is 60 FPS. Look at the difference. This is how it should be. 30 FPS is like, maybe you should just drop these animations. Everything is kind of in slow, kind of a slow motion. Let's just close this. All right. You see? I mean, once you come from 60 FPS, you just kind of feel like there's a kind of a little like milliseconds lag. You just feel it. Now I'm changing back to 60 FPS so you can see. This is from the previous gameplay. Look how smooth it is. But I didn't know that the difference is going to be so huge. I mean, I didn't know, first of all, that there is an option for 60 FPS, but once I tried it, I didn't know that it's going to be such a huge difference. And I told myself, wow, how can I actually play in 30 FPS? So yeah, so this is the first thing that if I'm gonna play a Wild Rift, definitely I'm gonna put it constantly on 60 FPS. Keep in mind this can drain battery. However, if I'm already playing, I'm gonna connect it either to a battery pack or something, and or external source, because come on, I can't play it with 30 FPS after playing 60 FPS for sure. So we're just gonna go back. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna play the lowest setting graphics, but still with 60 FPS, and we're gonna stay with high resolution, the highest resolution. Let's try it out. When I did this and I got back, and this is something that you either gonna say wow, or you're gonna say, oh, it doesn't make a difference. And the thing is that when I'm reducing those things, accept the resolution and going back and see if you can actually spot the difference. But I didn't actually spot something that was like kind of something like I want to say, wow, what a huge difference. Like it's like in PC games where you put the setting from low to ultra and you say, whoa, this is like a different game. So it wasn't like that, which I think for some is going to be good news. And you have no problem sacrificing visual quality. And in competitive scene, of course, many players in competitive games players don't care. You just want to make sure they have faster frame rate. It's not an FPS game, but still, I think it's important. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, as you can see here, you can be less details, but overall, it doesn't feel bad. It just feels very good. Looks great. I mean, when I'm playing this one, before I'm not saying to myself, oh my god, look at the difference. Wow. No. It's actually, the game looks very, very good. Now, let's take a look at the comparison. This is with something zoom in a bit also. Highest graphic settings, the lowest graphic settings. You see less trees there. If you look closer, you can see that the textures are less sharp in the lower settings. There's not this kind of a volumetric lighting effect there. But this is something that when you look at it, of course, without zooming in, when you zoom in, look at this, it's sharp. And the low setting, you see, there's a loss of quality there. But is it a big difference when you look at it not zoomed in? No. I mean, there is, but the difference is not something that is kind of huge. They're going to say to yourself, oh my god, I must play this one on the highest graphic settings. And of course, there are going to be effects. There are going to be difference between there are visual effects and stuff. But still, when I played it in both settings, I didn't feel like something is missing for me. And this is the most important thing. Of course, when you compare things side by side, you're going to notice the difference. Even then, at some points, you won't notice them at all. So in my opinion, it's worth actually ramping up the FPS and just lower the graphic settings if you can actually achieve the highest the 60 FPS and just enjoy it like this. Maybe later on you're going to introduce a higher FPS, who knows, and we're going to see. It's just, I think, worth it if it's working for you to lower the graphic settings and put in a higher FPS. So now we're going to go back to the lowest graphics, still 60 FPS, with a high resolution, highest resolution possible. And it just looks great. Look at the effects, everything looks nice. It can look fancier, but come on. It is something that you really don't care. I mean, your focus when you're playing won't go into this, and still the effects looks really nice in my opinion. Like, I don't see something that will make me kind of feel that I'm giving up a lot by just going with the lowest settings. That looks good. Now what we're going to do now is going to lower the resolution. Now, lowering the resolution will have a significant impact. All right. We're going to try medium first, all right, and go back. You can always see kind of a slightly jaggy edges, you see? And the circle, the sword, look at this kind of white things, kind of that's not super smooth. And in lower it's going to be more exaggerated. We're going to see, we're going to test this in a moment. Now with medium, actually it looks okay. You can feel that it is like there's kind of something that doesn't feel in sync completely with the graphics. Kind of you can feel this, some edges, you know, it's not perfect, but overall it plays okay. I have no problem with medium, not at all. Things get actually exaggerated when you lower the frame rates and continue lowering the resolution. And we can look at that in a second. You can see why it's not good. All right. Gonna go back. Oh, you see, look at the jaggy edges, much more prominent now, right? Much more prominent. Look at the circle on the side. Now you can really feel it. So we're playing now at 60 FPS, yeah? Keep this in mind, everything is smooth, but the thing that won't look smooth is actually the graphics. And you're gonna see it also in the game. Now I did find out that actually when you try the lower resolution with 60 FPS, it's much less visible when you see the lower resolution. Although if you played with 30 FPS, we're gonna show you soon, it's much more prominent. So actually with 60 FPS with low resolution, it actually works okay. It's barely noticeable, which is great. So if you want to get 60 FPS and you can't, you can actually try to lower the resolution. Maybe it will help. It was definitely more noticeable when we see kind of big objects, but this is a top-down view with many of the 3D objects are very small, so it's barely noticeable. Yes, off, 60 FPS off. I'm gonna go back and go back again. Yeah, I think that because you actually, the frame rate are more smoother, you less notice it compared to when you have lower frame rates. I remember this, it's actually bothering me. But keep in mind, with all of these settings, the game is perfectly playable. I mean, even if you play with 30 FPS, of course, you can play the game look better and smoother, but still very playable on lower settings. Yeah, alright. Yeah, now it bothers me. You see kind of a flickery when I move. Look at this column, you see? The base here. Yeah, now you can actually feel it. It's kind of, look at this kind of even like ghosting, you see? Now it's annoying. You see this? Listen, look at the column. Now it's annoying. Yeah, so when you play with the lowest resolution with 30 FPS, it's kind of annoying. I think it can even cause kind of stress for the eyes when you play for a long time. Even for kind of, it feels like there are two images. When you move, the one is just out of sync, like by 1 pixel, something like that. Yeah, so this definitely bothers me to some degree, but it's still playable. Alright, so just gonna go and see again the 60 FPS, highest graphics, highest resolution, how it looks. Overall, we can sum it up saying that 60 FPS, in my opinion, this is a must. It just feels so much better playing with 60 FPS, but you can actually lower the other graphic settings if you want to get higher frame rates if it's not achievable. If it's even possible to do this, you can try it on your device. Keep in mind that my observation might vary compared to, because I have running this one on the OnePlus 6. And I have a certain screen resolution. It might look different and more pronounced or less pronounced, depends on the device you are actually running it, and also in the distance you're actually holding the device, the screen, for more eyes. So again, medium resolution, still fine. Lower resolution, also fine, as long as you don't play with 30 FPS, which is probably going to bother some. But again, with all types of variation, is still very much playable. Keep this in mind. But there is no doubt that the game looks absolutely amazing when you just put everything up. The resolution, so it's the resolution, the 60 FPS, and the graphic settings all up. Things just look, again, fancier. But again, when you just play it, I think some of the things just won't matter too much. As I told you, as you can see. But again, if your device supports it, by all means, put everything up and enjoy a more fancy, beautiful, and smooth gameplay experience. So this ends our graphics comparison for League of Legends Wild Rift. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you have any question, let me know. If you want to test other things, let me know. And tell me how it works actually on your phone and which phone you're actually using or tablet in order to play the game. I'll see you very soon on the next video. Consider giving a like and subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video. Bye everyone. Cheers.